So this is just an opportunity for you to move a little bit, for you to just come into your body. And you can do that standing or sitting. If you're sitting, you can just waggle your hands like that at the wrists gently. And you know that you're the expert in your own body. So only do what you're able to do. And if it starts to get tiring or uncomfortable, then do it much more softly, much more gently. You can go from that to just gentle rolls. You can just lift up your shoulders and let them drop back. Lift up your shoulders and let them drop back. If you're standing, you can just turn, leave your feet exactly where they are, planted hip width apart, and just gently move from side to side. And if you have room, you can let your arms kind of go with that movement. Careful not to hit your chair like that just done. If you want to, you can have a bit of a stretch. And connect to your breath as you're doing this. And I'm already noticing how stiff my back is, and I need to make those movements a little bit smaller. There's a tender area in my lumbar spine that's easily activated. So my movement tends to come from up here until I'm a bit warmer. And if you like, you can just, holding onto a chair or the wall, you can just raise one foot off the ground. And if you don't need to hold onto anything, you can just notice the balance there, keeping your balance on one foot. And just be aware of all of the little micro activities in the joints of your foot, your ankle, the muscles of your calf, your thighs, your lower back and your belly to kind of keep you upright. Might notice a bit of effort there in the buttock after you've been standing for a little while. And then you can just rest on both feet and let your weight go from side to side. Feel that movement in the hips. And then rest on the weight of your body on your other foot. And you might notice that one is much more balanced than the other. Don't know why that is. This feels really easy on my right side, and it was trickier on my left side. And I noticed my shoulders were starting to creep up there, so just letting the shoulders drop down again. And then maybe do that, taking off a top movement, just that kind of arms crossing over. And as you breathe out, letting your arms come down. And if that movement is painful in your shoulders for any reason, make that tiny. That can just be it. Or it can be a giant movement. So you know what you're able to do. And I can feel an edge there in that shoulder. I sometimes suffer from frozen shoulder. So just working with the edge. Yeah, just there. So that's enough for me, just there. And then maybe the hugging arms movement. So remember, connect with your breath as you're doing this. Might want to roll your shoulders again. And in a moment, if you're standing, we're going to take our seats mindfully. So just be aware of moving mindfully, of being gentle with yourself. You might need to move your chair backwards a little bit. And then come into the seat and take your seat. Gently place yourself onto the seat of the chair. Tuck your bum right into the back of the corner of the chair so that your body is as supported as it can be by the shape of the chair. If you need to move away from any hard furniture, move back a little bit, then by all means, spend a little while making yourself comfortable. If you need to put a little cushion or soft thing under your feet, then do that. And if you sometimes do suffer with sore shoulders, maybe put a cushion or a pillow under your arms, and that stops the dragging weight of the shoulders becoming painful. Now, if you need to go away to get some of these things to make yourself comfortable, it's so worth taking the time to do this. And then just notice, are you sitting on your sitting bones? From maybe rock from side to side. If you're kind of leaning back like this, then you're probably sitting on your tailbone. I am when I'm sitting like this. But if I'm sitting upright and I'm tucked right into the back of the chair has me, it's helping gravity support me in this posture. Now, is there anything else that you might need to do? Are you warm enough? Do you need a shawl or a blanket to cover your legs or your shoulders? Do you need to have some water nearby? I've had a cough for nearly 10 years now, so I have water, I have lozenges. I am good to go, cough-wise. And just notice, do you wear glasses, spectacles? And if you do, you might feel the weight of them just resting there on the bridge of your nose, or you might feel them touching the sides of your face. I've taken mine off. So I'd invite you to take your glasses off and just rest them safely somewhere by your side. And then they won't become a distracting sensation as we go a little bit further on with this practice. Now, is there anything else you need to do? Have you left something on the oven? Is there something that you think, have I done that? Is the door open? Do I need to let the cat out? Feel free at any point, if you remember you need to do something, to tend to that, or else that'll be magnetizing you away from the practice, dragging your attention to that. Have I done this? And remember, if at any point you need to move, if you need to sit up from lying down, if you need to lie down from sitting up, if you want to stand up and do this practice standing, or if you want to move gently, just do mindful movements. All those choices are available to you. It's up to you. This is your practice. So I thought I would begin with a little piece by Mary Oliver. Why I Wake Early. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who make the morning and spread it over the fields and into the faces of the tulips and the nodding morning glories, and into the windows of even the miserable and the crotchety. Best preacher that ever was, dear star, that just happens to be where you are in the universe, to keep us from ever darkness, to ease us with warm touching, to hold us in the great hands of light. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Watch now how I start the day in happiness, in kindness. So I'd invite you to, if you're happy to, close your eyes. Let your eyes be softly closed. No need to scrunch them up or clench them. We're just closing one of those gateways to the senses so that we're not distracted by any movements in our line of vision or our peripheral vision. You might notice, even though your eyes are closed, you might still be aware of clouds moving in front of the sun, light and shade changing. You might be aware of colors behind your eyes, shapes, movement. That's okay, just allow yourself to get used to that. And in fact, you can choose for a little while to stay with that and just notice what's to be noticed there in the mind's eye. And if you notice that your eyes are tightly shut, if your mind is busy, if you're frowning, thinking about something, and just notice that expression across the forehead, between the eyebrows, that pulling down of the forehead, and just gently smooth those brows out. Maybe even raise your eyebrows, keeping your eyes closed, raise your eyebrows up towards your hairline, towards your scalp, and then let them go. Let that wide expanse of muscle at the top of your face be smooth, frown and wrinkle free. Maybe there's a draft in your room where you are, and you can feel that light touch of air against your eyelashes or your eyelids or the skin of your face, the tip of your nose. Maybe notice if you can feel that gentle movement of air across your skin, anywhere else, on your neck, through your scalp, across the forearms, the wrists or the hands, the fingertips. If your legs are bare, maybe along your legs or your feet somewhere. And if you notice your posture beginning to drop, to slouch in the spine, just gently lengthen the spine as if somebody was gently lifting you up through your crown. You can still lean back a little bit into the chair, still sitting on the sitting bones, but keeping the spine nice and long. The rest of the skeleton kind of hangs off the spine. So when the spine is nice and long, the shoulders are up and back, and the lungs within the rib cage can fully inflate. You might be able to feel that movement of the skeleton, the bones of the skeleton moving around the spine, across the shoulders, through the arms, through the rib cage at the front and the sides and the back. Breathing in that draft of air and breathing out into it. I wonder, are there any sounds that you can hear at the moment? It might be layers, some far off in the distance, an airplane overhead or a car on the road somewhere in the distance. There might be a gull flying just above your house or a pigeon cooing on the window. You may hear the wind moving the trees or the plants in the garden. Just let those different sounds come to you. There might be sounds in your house or in the house next door or the room next door. So just let them come and go. That's what's happening with them anyway. So if they don't come and go, is your mind latching on to a particular sound? I love that sound. I love that bird singing. I love that sound of the wind in the trees above the room. Or I don't like that sound. I wish that person would be quiet. I wish that mental activity, that reaction that comes when we hear sounds that we don't like. So it's interesting to notice that even when we're sitting here, the pull and push of the liking and the disliking. But when we notice it, when we become aware of it, we can just drop it like 2 bags of shopping. I'm dropping both the chocolate and the coal, the stuff I love and the stuff I find heavy and uncomfortable. Letting go of my preferences and my dislikes, coming back to the sounds. And just take a moment to notice, scan your body, scan your experience. Is there anything present now that's difficult or uncomfortable, painful or challenging? Give yourself a minute. Could be a physical sensation, could be a persistent thought, a charged thought. It could be a painful or uncomfortable emotion. And if none of those things are present for you, then just keep listening to sounds. Stay with your breath. Keep surfing the moment. But if anything uncomfortable is present in your experience, maybe gently turn towards that, using your tool of compassion, self-compassion. If your shoulder is sore, maybe you want to just gently touch that. If there's a painful emotion, a grief, a loss, an anger, a frustration, maybe just gently resting your hand against your heart and allowing that guest to be here. Breathing into it. If it's here, it's here. Pushing it away just gives it more of your energy and attention. So allow it to be here with you, to be here with us. Let us help you carry that. And if there's a charged thought, persistent, difficult thought, you can mindfully choose to turn towards that with curiosity and interest, just for a little while. You can rest your hand down on your cushion if you like, on your lap or your belly. And you can just turn towards that thought. What's that about? Maybe you've just had an irritating conversation with somebody or exchange through social media. Maybe you've had a hard day. Something else, whatever it is, just notice that it's there. Hello, thought or thoughts. It could be a busy motorway of thoughts. And each time you notice those thoughts, remember that's a moment of mindfulness. You can bring yourself away from those thoughts by connecting with your sense of hearing or your sense of touch, the feet on the ground, the bum on the chair, the breath flowing in and out. If it's a very difficult thought, if it starts to really pull you in and get you caught up in its drama, when you notice that, you can just breathe into it. Breathe in kindness. Yeah, that is a difficult thought. And breathe out kindness towards yourself. Yeah, this is challenging. And maybe in addition to that, there's pain in your body or there's tiredness in your body. Maybe you're tired or sleepy or fatigued, that deep, achy tiredness. That makes it so much easier to be reactive. I bet half the people who are here on this call know what that's like. And we can send each other loving kindness in this practice to anyone who's struggling here or that we know. We can include them in this practice and wish them well. If you find yourself wrestling with any part of your experience, stop wrestling. Just allow, just go with it. Feel your bum on the chair. Notice if your spine has begun to slump again. Just gently let your spine be long. Let your head be poised there on top of your neck if that's comfortable. And if it's not comfortable, you can lean back against the chair, or the mattress, or the cushions. Maybe put something behind your neck to support it. I want you to just see if you can bring your attention, your awareness to the crown of your head, whether you have hair or not. Just let your attention rest there in the center of the top of your skull. If you can't feel anything there, if that's not obvious to your senses, you can bring your fingers there and gently just touch the crown of your head. You can feel the skin on your scalp, the muscles underneath it, and the skull, the bone underneath that. And if you have hair, you can feel the hairs there on the crown of your head. And then just let your hand rest down again. See if you can still feel the top of your head, your crown. Allow your awareness to just come down along the top of the skull, past the edges of the dome. Feel the hair at the back of your head or the scalp at the back of your head going into that curved edge of the occiput, the back of your skull. And then going out from the sides of the crown, going down towards the temples and the ears, the bony prominences at the side of the skull and the temporomandibular joint where your jaw is joined to your skull. You can move that jaw if you like, just to notice where that is. up and down or side to side. Might even be able to hear your teeth gently clicking together. Notice if you can feel your forehead. Right there in the center of your forehead, can you feel a kind of a tingling or a heat just above the bridge of your nose, between your eyebrows? Maybe you have a fringe or there are strands of hair that you can feel touching the skin of your forehead, just noticing that sensation or that touch of the draft of air across the skin of your forehead. Noticing your eyelids covering your eyes. Can you feel your eyes? If you can't, maybe move them under your eyelids from side to side, up and down. You might also notice your breath flowing in and out. That breath flows in just between your eyes when you think of the anatomy. Can you feel your nose there at the front of your face? Covered by skin, and the nostrils, one on either side. You might notice them move slightly when you breathe in, flaring and dropping back on the out breath. Just spend a few breaths paying attention to that. Feel that cool air going up through the airways, down along the back, touching the back of your tongue and going down your neck. Follow that as far as you can. And then notice the out-breath. Can you feel the out-breath coming out of your nose, one or both nostrils, touching the skin between the nose and the upper lip? You might even be able to feel the subtle movement of the hairs in your nose moving in each direction, the in and the out of the breath. Can you hear that sound of your breath? I wonder, under your eyes, can you feel the skin over your cheekbones and the curve of your cheekbones under your eyes and then going back towards that temporomandibular joint? If you smile a little bit, raise the corners of your mouth. Can you feel the muscles on either side of your face, of your mouth, lifting the lips? Can you feel the skin? That's quite a broad expanse down towards the line of the jaw on either side, coming down to that angle of the jaw and coming forward to the chin. And if you can't feel that, just gently moving your jaw up and down from side to side. You might be able to feel air touching the skin on the outside, but can you also feel the inside? The hot, wet interior of the cheeks and the gums. Maybe you can feel the outer sides of your teeth touching your gums, touching your lip or your cheeks, going round to the back. Maybe you can feel your tongue in your mouth. It might be resting on the floor of your mouth. Or maybe there's some tension in your tongue. We often hold our tongues. If we're told to be quiet, we're told to hold your tongue. So see if you can let go of your tongue. Can you just let it rest there on the floor of your mouth? Might even be able to feel the underside of your tongue resting on the floor of your mouth. You might feel little pools of saliva. And if you do, notice the sensation when you swallow, starting with the tongue, rippling back through the throat, down along the neck. If you find it hard to let go of your tongue, just let the tip of your tongue rest softly against the back of your upper teeth, your upper front teeth. Notice if your spine has collapsed again, and if it has, if you can lengthen the spine, you can do that. And just bring your attention to the column of your neck. The whole circumference of it, the front, the skin coming down over the trachea, over the Adam's apple. The thyroid, you might notice there in the center, that might feel quite hot. And then coming down all the way towards the V of the collarbone, where it meets the breastbone, the length of the front of our necks. Can you feel any echo of the breath there at the front of your neck? Or can you feel a pulse there on the sides at the front of your neck? Two big blood vessels supplying the head. The jugular vein, the carotid artery, one on each side. Can you feel them carrying blood up into the face, up into the brain, up into the scalp and the muscles of the head? And bringing back venous blood after all the oxygen has been used up. It's another echo of the breath. That heartbeat, wherever you can feel it, that sensation of the oxygen you've inhaled being carried all over the body. And just under the neck, the chest, the rest of the body, supporting us here. So often we live in our heads. We don't feel those sensations of the ears and the nose, the eyes, the mouth, those gateways to the senses. But just gently connecting with the rest of this body that we occupy, this vehicle that carries us around through our lives. Noticing the weight of your body through your sitting bones, through the backs of your legs or your feet. Just gently broadening out your awareness to include the front of the body, the back of the body, all along the length of it, the sides of the body, both limbs, all the digits. And we're going to gently begin to bring this practice to a close now. So you might want to just wriggle your fingers a little bit or move your hands in gentle circles, wriggle your toes, move your feet in gentle circles. If you want to keep meditating where you are, by all means do that. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I've run a little bit over there. Who knew the head could be so fascinating? Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening, for joining this community, for practicing together, supporting each other, sending metta, loving kindness out towards each other. You're always welcome to any of these sessions. And if you'd ever like to make a donation to support Breathworks and this space, keep it going, please do. And by all means, feel free to take this mindful attention out with you. However you're going to start your day tomorrow, even as you're going to bed tonight, to do that mindfully, compassionately to yourself. See you soon, I hope. Take good care.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Everybody.
Bye.